I couldn't stay away from the gay horror forever. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 8 of The Summer Hikaru Died. We are back. After only a month away, which actually surprised me. I thought it had been a little longer. I was thinking like a month and a half, maybe upwards of 2 months, but no, it's only been a month. Which is, again, just surprising to me. It just feels like it's been longer. But we came back to this pretty quickly because it was chosen via poll, actually, for the next, to kind of replace Buddy Daddies for now. And Buddy Daddies will be back. No worries on that. But, yeah, it was put on a poll. There were a number of options for shows that were ones we had already started, ones we had taken a break from before, and that we could come back to, and this is what won. So, ended up being a pretty short break. But hey, I'm all good for that. I took a break from this in the first place because the last episode was really heavy. And I felt like it was a good, like, middle of the season stopping point to really, like, reflect on everything. So, previously, after Hikaru in episode 6 had almost killed their classmate, I can't remember her name, but she's the spiritually aware one. Last episode, we saw Yoshiki kind of being very cold towards Hikaru, but also taking him out for a day, like, away from school, and just, going out, seeing a movie, just, hanging out and spending the day together. At the end of it, it's revealed why. Yoshiki tries to stab and kill Hikaru, and he wanted to make his last day a good one. Because no matter what, he still cares about this Hikaru, even if he knows it's not the original, even if he knows it's not his, childhood friend. He still cares about him because this Hikaru has still shown that same care and affection to Yoshiki. But Yoshiki was also scared because of, the fact that Hikaru had killed a woman before and almost killed their classmate. And so Hikaru, even though the stabbing didn't, like, kill him, he understood. Well, he tried to understand. He couldn't quite 100% get it. But he tried to, like, understand what Yoshiki's feelings in this situation were. And through this, he decided to intentionally weaken himself by pulling out part of him. I don't know exactly what that means and how, but he offered it to Yoshiki as a way to, like, make him less dangerous. And Yoshiki basically accepted this apology, accepted Hikaru wanting to be better, wanting to improve and, not hurt people. And even if Hikaru is only saying and doing this for Yoshiki's sake, the fact is he is willing to change, to grow. And that is progress. And so Yoshiki accepts it. And he just, at this point, he just wants to find out more. He wants to, like, figure out what the hell is even going on with Hikaru and what the deal with all of this is. Which I believe Hikaru doesn't even fully know himself because, he doesn't really have any memories or knowledge from before he inhabited Hikaru's corpse. So it's like, yeah, it's a very complicated situation in the first place. But yeah, it was very heavy and it dealt a lot with, like, the fears and the pains of these characters. Hikaru was obviously scared himself over the fact that he could, like, hurt Yoshiki. He was scared over the fact that Yoshiki was, trying to hurt him. And Yoshiki was just scared for himself and others, and it's just like, it's perfectly reasonable. And with all of this obviously being, the big gay allegory, I feel like the metaphor behind this all could be something around the likes of Yoshiki, being kind of like closeted and being seen as like fearful over coming out and being open about this, is trying to push away those feelings, is trying to kill everything in his life that makes him feel that way. It's him trying to get rid of the gay inside him by getting rid of the influences outside of him. And so that's kind of how I'm viewing it, but there might be more to it or whatnot. Either way, it was a very, very heavy episode that I felt like was just a really good stopping point for the time. And now we're back. So, again, not as long of a wait as other shows have taken. There were like one or two other shows on the poll that had been a lot longer since we watched them last. But at the same time, I think that this is one that I wanted to get back to a lot quicker anyway, because of like the horror aspects mixed with the queer metaphors. Obviously, we're very much doing it for me as a fan of horror and as a fan of queer representation in media. Which, by the way, fun fact, at the end of this month, I'm going to my hometown convention, as I do every year, YomaCon, and I'm actually going to be hosting my queer representation in media panel again. I host this not every year, not every convention I go to, but I've hosted it quite a bit. And I definitely have to put The Summer Hikaru Died as a new entry on that on that slideshow. So, just a little fun thing for you there. If you happen to be in the Detroit area and are going to YomaCon, check out my panel. I'm also hosting another panel about link click. So check out those two panels there during the weekend. But either way, I'm excited to get back into this. So let's check it out and see where it goes from here. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, this was the most freaky-ass lore episode possible. Yeah, this episode was obviously big for the lore of the village, and definitely the lore of Nonuki, which might be what is current Hikaru. We don't know for sure, but it's a very strong possibility. On top of that, had some really freaky shit going on. It seems like the spiritual activity is getting stronger. We have seen like these crazy spirit creatures appearing before, these monsters, and usually it's like one at a time, and it's like very kind of this isolated incident. But now we have like two in very quick succession. Though they might actually be the same one, I guess it's possible. Like, because we know something was possessing that man who killed himself outside the school. But we don't know what. it could have been this thing. Um, but it's like there's just so much like freaky imagery in this, and it like really went hard into like some of this stuff. On top of that, we have Yoshiki meeting the investigator, we'll call him. We have them learning a lot of information from the daughter of the old woman from episode 1 about, like, again, the village in Nonuki Sama. And it's just, we even get a little bit of Asako in this, kind of still reeling from the after effects of what Hikaru almost did. And that because, like, he tapped her, I think it was referred to as, it caused her to, like, have one of her ears, like, partially lose hearing. So that's fucked. And as was pointed out in this episode, Hikaru doesn't fully understand the consequences of his actions because it literally doesn't make sense to him. He doesn't comprehend it. He doesn't understand death. He doesn't understand pain. He doesn't understand any of this stuff. And it's not even through fault of his own. He literally doesn't comprehend it. It's like you saw how it shocked and surprised him when he felt the pain from that bruise when his arm bumped against the table. It's like that was entirely new to him because that normally wouldn't happen when he had his full power. Unfortunately, weakening himself like this might have ended up actually becoming a problem if this ending is any kind of thing to look at. Because if that did actually happen, and Hikaru couldn't stop this spirit because he wasn't full, then that's a problem. If this didn't happen, and it was just in Yoshiki's mind, him like imagining this, out of fear because he found out that, Hikaru is that weakened and that this part of him is that important. If this was like a sense of that, and it was just like some kind of like daydream or something, then it still sets up that idea for the future that could come to pass. Either way, it's not great. We see the woman at the end is the woman from before who had been talking to Yoshiki. We see that she's back and is going to be involved again. We see that the investigator, after having contact with Yoshiki, definitely knows he's been in contact with the spirit they're looking for. And interacting with the hamster has proven that. Also, Yoshiki just really being into the hamster is great. Like, that's just that was just cute. It was a random cute like little moment, like complete with even the sudden like cutesy music and everything. That was fun. I enjoyed that. But there's also a lot of this lore. So the village was split up into multiple villages. It used to be a single one, and it was split up into multiple after these events of the past. And put all together, like when the maps are put all together, it looked like the river was like shaped like a human body, or at least a similar visage as that. And so, from what we could see, it seemed that all of this kind of went down because of these events of the past. And this woman's sister even disappeared in the past and everything, due to Nanuki-sama and whatnot. The village used to like more accept Nanuki-sama, and it was like seen as like a blessing and stuff. But then when things went down, kind of they seem to have like turned on it. So it's pretty crazy, and I like made the comparison to like how that could be a metaphor for queerness and everything. Don't know if that's actually what it's going for. But obviously the most shocking part of this was the possessed guy who killed himself there. Cause it's like you don't even get to see him up close. It's just this like seemingly naked guy, or at least mostly naked random bald guy just standing outside the school. Like, it looked like he had a mirror, like he was signaling up to Yoshiki. And he was calling out to him saying hi. Other At first Yoshiki thinks it's just a spirit, but soon it's revealed no, everyone can see him. It's just a guy, and again, presumably possessed. Uh he's eventually surrounded by like some staff or whatnot, but then he takes I guess it's like a shard of a mirror or something. Because that's what he uses to cut himself. He just slices open his own throat and just bleeds out to death. It's really, really shocking. And it's one of those moments that it's like, if I saw that happen, like in real life, like that would stick with me forever. That would just absolutely be like a traumatizing event that I would never be able to get out of my head. And these are kids. Like, these are literal children. And they saw this happen. It's like, like I said, that is the moment you cancel school, you enact mandatory counseling for every student, and you just, you really, really have to deal with that, because that, again, that could very much traumatize these kids for life. That is like so horrific. It's just like, Jesus fuck. It's it's just so intense. Like, this series can go from like 0 to 100 in no time flat, and it doesn't really give you warning for that. Cuz that like almost kind of came out of nowhere. And so it's like, how do you even deal with something like that? And then again, going back to this spirit thing at the end, it's like this creepy figure, and the head can like kind of detach, but it's also still connected by like a part of it as well. But we saw that Hikaru couldn't stop it. His eye was bleeding and everything. And it seemed like it was happening in some kind of like pocket like space, because like sound disappeared, everyone around them disappeared. But then it's like, after the thing seemingly was going to attack Yoshiki, like it zoomed up to him, and then he seemingly just was woken up by this woman. So it's like, maybe it wasn't necessarily a dream or anything. Maybe it was like this spirit was attacking him within his sleep. I don't know, like Freddy Krueger style or some shit. It's like, what the hell is going on? There's so many questions that this kind of thing raises, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know, like, what the hell things are really kicking up, though. And I think this episode very much confirms that I took a break at the exact right time for multiple reasons. One, this is definitely the right episode to come back to after a break. Like, this is definitely the right episode to come back to. It not only elevates things, it not only escalates the entire situation, the tone, the intensity, but it also gives us massive lore drops. And so it definitely feels like last episode kind of like was a like closure to that part of things, while this episode just kicks off into what's going to be the biggest climax of this series. At least for this season. I don't know if there's going to be another season, but yeah, it's like, Jesus fuck. So I definitely took a break at the right time, but I'm also glad that I came back like in a really short amount of time. That I was only off for a month, because it's like, I'm just like really excited to be back into this. It's such a good series. It's so like so intense, so freaky, and it's just like, yeah, I'm like really, really enjoying this. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. What did you think of like the possible metaphors there? Am I looking too much into things, or did you kind of like come to a similar conclusion? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.